Okay guys, so I'm going to show you a trick to help check your tramming and dialing your Z offset at the same time using a bed leveling pattern. Now I'm not a huge fan of bed leveling patterns. I think they overthink things, but did you know you can use the bed leveling pattern not only to check your leveling, but to check your Z offset. So when printing a small model and using that to dial in your Z offset, you might struggle because it's very small and the nozzle's constantly over it. So by using something like a large print or a large bed leveling print, it will make a huge print. And if you have skirt turned on, it'll make a huge skirt. So now look, by looking at this, I can tell how my tramming is. Because if it's thicker or thinner, I know my tramming's no good, right? This is your wipe line. First off, you want to check that, but don't lose sleep over it because it is a wipe line. If there's crud on the nozzle, it might show up here, it might not stick well, it might not look good. So don't lose sleep over your wipe line. Here's the skirt. As it prints, you want to look to see, is it really thin or even missing anywhere? Because if it's thick here and thin there, you know, your tramming is no good or your auto bed leveling mesh is no good. Where it's thin, that means it's higher and it's too close to the nozzle, so it's pressing down too far, making it really thin. If it's thick, you know, it's really high. What you want is consistent, so consistent all around. So far you can see this looks good, so I'm happy with my tramming. Let's check my Z. I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna just take it and rub it across, just like this. Not really hard, but firmly. It shouldn't move. If it moves, my Z is too high. If it stays put, my Z is good. So if it moves, you want to lower your Z offset just a tiny bit. If it looks really thin and really faded and feels rough like sandpaper, then it's too low and you want to raise your Z offset to make this line a touch thicker. So I'm really thrilled with how this looks. This particular test print makes a zigzag. So now we're going to use that zigzag to check my tramming and my Z offset even further. So here we go. Watch as it prints. Look for consistent thickness across the line. Feel it. Is it smooth? If it's smooth, you're happy. If it's rough and feels like sandpaper, you're no good and you want to raise your Z offset. But even worse, if these lines move side to side, you're too high as well and nothing will stick, so you want to lower your Z offset. So far so good. I can take my finger, rub it across all four of these lines, and it's staying well. So there you go. That's how you're going to use a test pattern to check your Z offset by using a leveling test pattern. This allows you to dial in, baby step your Z, and check it across a good amount of the board to make sure your tramming's okay at the same time. Now this is going to repeat this print across this entire section inside the skirt. So there it is. It did 2 passes across the entire pattern. And you can see they're all staying put. When I rub them, they all look consistent. So my tramming and my Z offset are in good shape. And I should have no problem completing a 3D print.